Guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and today we are taking a look at Tactimon Loop. If you are familiar with the Minervamon Loop that just topped a regionals, this is extremely similar to that. I will say it is worse. It is less consistent, but it's a little bit more suited to a casual level table. The loop is going to be a little bit harder to pull off and a little bit high roll, but it works. I have done it on DCGO a couple of times, so I am willing to put this out there. And if you guys have any suggestions on how to make it more consistent, put those in the comments down below, and I'd love to hear about them. So, starting with our egg, we're going to go 4 copies of the promo Digimon. On deletion, you may return a card with Growlmon or Guilmon in its name from trash to hand. I normally use this to grab back Growlmon or Growlmon X rather than the Guilmons. I just want to make sure I have the level 4 to go into for the next stack for stack fixing reasons. For our level 3s, we're on 2 copies of BT5 Guilmon. On deletion, if this card was deleted by an effect, you gain 1 memory. We are going to use this with the Cerberusmon X-Antibody inheritable to delete it, unsuspend the Tactimon, and gain a memory off of its effect when it comes up. Otherwise, we can set up the Guilmon and Guilmon X combo so we get the on deletion gain a memory inherit. But this is just an easier level 3 to have set up if we are trying to farm the memory with it. We are going to run 4 copies of BT21 Guilmon on play by trashing a card with Guilmon, Growlmon, Guilmon, Magidramon, or the hero trait from hand, draw 2, and our inheritable here gains us a memory. Being able to pitch 1 to draw 2 is very important for finding our pieces. There are only 4 copies of Tactimon in the deck, obviously, and the inheritable is going to be fantastic, so when we sack away our stack, we can gain some memory. Also, if we don't see the BT5 Guilmon, having this as the level 3 that we float back with the Cerberusmon X, and then putting a Guilmon X on top of it, is a great way for us to still net a memory with that Cerberusmon X on suspend. We're going to run 1 copy of the Guilmon X from EX4 on play if the total number of cards in both players' trash is 20 or more. This Digimon gains Rush for the turn. A great way to close out the game and finish up as soon as this Rush inheritable gets online. We do have 4 copies of the Guilmon X-Antibody, mostly here to bring that on deletion inheritable online. We are not going to be able to get memory with this effect by really any other means. You can put a Growlmon on top of it if you promote out and pop a Floodgate. You can get a memory that way, but for the most part, this is not going to do the most amount of work. But if you do get that inheritable off, it's going to be pretty nice. It's going to help enable the loop without needing quite as many high roll pieces. Onto our level 4s here, we're on 4 copies of the BT21 Growlmon. On play and when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4K or less. If this effect didn't delete, trash the top 2 cards of your deck. Really fantastic to promote out the Guilmon, go to Growlmon, pop away any floodgates, and then if there's no floodgates to mill, we can mill the top 2 cards of our deck, which is going to set up the trash for our Cerberus X plays. We also have on deletion gain a memory. We really want to see this in a stack along with our Guilmon that gains us a memory, so when we sack away the Tactimon, we can get 2 memory back from that play. We are going to run the 1 copy of EX3 Growlmon. This is just a consistency piece for the most part. It does pop floodgates and mill us, so that is nice as well. And it can get a security +1 in some situations, but for the most part, we're not going to use that inheritable. We have 4 copies of the Growlmon X-Antibody from EX8. When Digivolving, draw 1, trash 1 in your hand. Then if Growlmon or X-Antibody is in your sources until the end of your opponent's turn, gain on deletion, play a card with Guilmon in its name from your trash, not paying the cost. This is the heart and soul of the loop, and in my opinion, kind of solidifies why we should have gotten rid of this card on that banned and restricted list. You are going to be popping your Tactimon stack to float back a Guilmon and then do the same thing all over again. So, core piece to our stack, and we want to see it. We're likely going to be trying to promote a Growlmon out from racing and then put the Growlmon X on top of it as our go button. For our level 5s here, 4 copies of the BT16 Cerberusmon. On play when Digivolving, return a Digimon card with the Dark Animal or Shaman trait from your trash to the hand. Immediately something that makes this worse than the Minervamon version of this loop is that you cannot grab Tactimon back with this effect. So if you do lose your Tactimon to security or you mill them away, they are kind of gone. So that does suck. However, the inheritable here, your turn once per turn when an effect plays one of your Digimon gains Rush for the turn. The nice thing is that this does not say one of your other Digimon gains Rush for the turn. It is just a Digimon gains Rush. So part of the combo here is that when we play back the Guilmon, even if we don't have the EX4 that gives itself Rush, we go into a Growlmon, we go into Cerberus, we get Cerberus X, play out the level 3, and then you can give this stack Rush. So then when we go into Tactimon, we actually still have the Rush online and enabling us to swing. We have the 4 copies of Cerberusmon X-Antibody on play. You may play a purple level 3 Digimon card from your trash without paying the cost. When Digivolving, draw 1, trash 1 in your hand. If you have Cerberusmon in your sources, you can activate your on play to play a level 3 from the trash. And then when attacking here, by deleting one of your other Digimon, unsuspend this Digimon. So very crucial to our getting multiple checks and clearing bodies. The level 6, we have talked about him, Tactimon from BT5. When attacking, not once per turn. Activate one of the effects below. If you have no other Digimon in play, activate all of the effects instead. Gain a memory. Get 2k DP for the turn and delete up to 3 of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. Actually really excellent at clearing some of those rookie rush strategies away, but the important thing here is that when attacking, you gain a memory, and that is not once per turn. So how are we actually looping? Well, we are trying to promote out, in a perfect world, a Growlmon with your memory boost in your training setup. This is, of course, you're setting up to combo and just kill the opponent in one turn type of deck. So you want to have all those things set up, promote the Growlmon, go into Growlmon X. This gives your stack the ability to float back a Guilmon on deletion. You're going to go into the Cerberus X, play back a Guilmon, so you will have a Cerberus X and a Guilmon on the board. And then you are going to go into Tactimon, swing. You're going to layer your effects so that you use this inheritable first to pop the Guilmon on the board, hopefully netting you one memory off of either this Guilmon or one memory off of this underneath a Guilmon X. And then you are going to be able to activate all three of the Tactimon abilities, because this will be the only Digimon on board, netting you one extra memory and unsuspending, letting you swing again and getting an extra memory. So just off of that, we are netting 3 memory. And then we are trying to delete our stack so that we can gain another memory off the Guilmon that should be in our stack and another memory off the Growlmon in our stack. And we are going to have to pay memory to delete our stack. But even if we use the 1 memory efficiency options that pop our stack, this should be a +4 memory play, and that is just on a low, not necessarily a low roll, but without any of the tools that help us generate more memory in our deck. So what tools are we using to help us get there? 3 copies of Nidhoggmon. When you trash this card in your hand using an effect, gain a memory. We want to be trashing that away either with the Growlmon X or the Cerberus X. We do need to set up a level 3 in trash. If the opponent doesn't check and hit the level 3 in trash, then obviously we're going to have to do it ourselves, but sometimes the opponent will hit that level 3 in security, and then you're just pitching away 2 Nidhoggs off the Growlmon X and the Cerberus X, and it is tons of gas in the tank. We do have 1 copy of Calling from the Darkness, another way to pop Tactimon and grab pieces back. Also, if you see a Tactimon get swung through in security, you have nothing on board yet because you're still setting up. I don't mind popping this early to get pieces in your hand and set up your stack properly. We have 2 Pandemonium Flames. I am opting for this option. I know it's more expensive, but sometimes it does come up that the opponent is sitting on an ace on the board and you don't have enough gas to get through enough iterations of the loop to close out the game. So Pandemonium Flame sometimes as a way to pop Tactimon when the opponent has a blast ace on the board is really, really great because you do open up the ability to blow up some level 6s on the board and gain some memory back off of popping a blast ace. So this is kind of very specifically to kill blast aces, but I find it gives you a little bit of an extra push to actually close out the game. We are running 3 copies of Purple Scramble. This is just memory in the hand. If you use this to evo into Cerberusmon or the Tactimon, it costs 2 instead of 3, which makes our entire stack cheaper to get into. If you think about it, we need to generate about 8 memory worth of equity to technically create a stack for free, because it costs 2 to get into level 4, 3 to get into the level 5, and 3 to get into the level 6. So any tools we have set up, trainings, boosts, or Scrambles, or Nidhoggmons help us get to that memory threshold to actually be efficient. Blowing up our own stack technically generates us 2 memory already, so we need to worry about creating 6 memory worth of resource. Tactimon should get us 2 more, so that's 4, and then using the Guilmons gets us 5. You're going to be spending 1 to get the stack blown up, so we gotta kind of generate that 3 extra memory value somewhere. That's where the Nidhogg and the Purple Scrambles come from. We do have 2 copies of the Purple Memory Boost, just another consistency piece to help find our pieces. I did play with the Mist Memory Boost, but I did not like when I trashed away the Tactimons. I definitely prefer to see this. I understand all the options will get bottom deck, which does not feel great, but I think it's important to be able to grab that Tactimon or grab the Cerberusmon instead of just milling them away, especially when you're going to struggle to get them back later. 4 copies of Wisdom Training, flip top 2, grab a purple card, just pretty standard purple search package, and then the 3 copies of Deathclaw. Pop one of your Digimon to delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Good way to get rid of Tactimon for just 1 memory and get your pieces back on the board. So yeah, it's just a little bit of a less efficient version of the Minervamon loop, a little bit less consistent, and like I said, it is much more suited for those lower power level tables, but it does work. I have gotten it off in DCGO a couple of times. Of course, it helps when the opponent swings into your security and hits something like an extra training, an extra boost, or sets up your level 3 in trash. But when it high rolls, and it does get the job done. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Have you tried any other versions of the Minervamon loop with other top-end cards? Let me know. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.
Thank you to our channel members for supporting this channel. It's people like Langlong, Big Z11, Coffee Deus, and DigiDane who make videos like this possible.